Hi all, it's Ragarath and I am back again, and Firehose have released for us another video. So let's dive straight in and see what it's all about. Obviously it's about the in-game metrics that are coming. We've talked about this before, but it's a 7-minute video, so I'm assuming there might be some other stuff in this. So let's have a look and see what Lauren's got to say.
This week's update is really awesome. We have officially added in-game metrics for 0.1.1 launch, and along with that, we've rebalanced all of the recipes. So everything has been tweaked.
So they've not just added the metrics, guys. They've rebalanced all the recipes. So I assume what we expect for something to complete may have changed.
We're going to get more in depth as to why those recipes were rebalanced and what those in-game metrics look like in this video.
They're going to go into.
As far as the metrics that your machines now show, everything is going to have inputs, outputs, throughputs. Belts will have their speeds, inserters have their speeds. The power system also has had metrics added. It's just a really easy way to balance your factory. So before I dive into all the in-game metrics, let's talk a little bit about balancing a factory. If you are new to factory gaming, balancing a factory means setting up your factory so that you have nothing backed up and everything is running smoothly. So like, you don't have a bunch of copper ore backed up on the belt, you don't have a bunch of iron ingots backed up on the belt. Everything's just running smoothly and flowing properly. And we retooled a lot of our metrics and rebalanced a lot of recipes so that all of them kind of add up to nice even numbers.
So that's cool. So we're actually going to be able to now work out the best setups for our factory, whereas it's quite difficult at the moment not to have stuff back up. My factory that I'm playing through is just the worst at the moment. I haven't looked at any stats or anything, but from what I have been looking at, it's not easy to balance what you're doing without delving right in and working out speed yourself.
And they look pretty. It also just makes it a lot easier to balance, so there's less hard math to do. But it's still a challenge, just to be clear. It is still a challenge to balance your factory in Techtonica. So now we talked about that, let's head into the game, and I'm going to show you guys some clips and show you guys what the metrics look like.
I mean, to be honest, balancing a factory is what factory games are all about. We like playing these games because we like trying to make them as efficient as possible. So I'm hoping they haven't made it too easy to balance out so that we get some unique, unique solutions from different players on how to actually make things work more efficiently.
To do this, I'm going to walk you through building a research core. So we're going to start at the very beginning with ore and then dive all the way to the end. Okay, so here is my factory. We are going to start first with...
Oh yeah, look, bottom left down here, guys. 25 per minute. So we got stats. Look, this is awesome. So they come up just when you're looking at it, down in the bottom left-hand corner. With the rest of the information that you normally get from assemblers, etc. That's awesome.
Mining drill. So down in the lower left, you can see our output and our
she
fuel.
Just highlights it.
So you
right.
can see things are kind of backed up. I have not balanced my factory for the new metrics yet. So you see our output is going to be the copper ore at 25 per minute, and the fuel is going to be going in at burning at 1 per minute.
So much
using those
easier.
bio bricks. And then we can take it on over to our smelter. This is where our ore is going. Down the lower left, you see we have the inputs. We're taking in 2 of the copper ore and outputting 1 of the iron ingot. And then if we look at our inserter, you can see it's putting out 20 items per minute. That's its maximum speed. And
Hold on a minute. Let me go back. So that 2, is that still, it's just, it needs 30 a minute still, I assume, on the input. Even though it's taking in 2 at a time. Okay.
Of the copper ore and outputting 1 of the iron ingot. And then if we look at our inserter, you can see it's putting out 20 items per minute. That's its maximum speed, and it is putting out those copper ingots. And our belts, 240 items per minute. So that is the current MK1 speed, and we're going to talk a little bit about balancing belts later on in this video. So just note that's also coming. All right, so we've got our ingots, and we are taking our ingots all the way down here And we are putting them in a couple different assemblers to make parts for the research cores. So first, with this assembler, we are turning copper ingots into copper wire. So our input is 1 bar, and that is going in at 2.5 per minute. And you can see there's options for up to 3 different inputs. So you can have like more complex recipes. And then the outputs, it's putting out 6 copper wire every 15 of those per minute. And the power is also really important, so you can see exactly what power is being used by this machine.
Oh yeah, power at the bottom. Look.
And we also have on the other side, our other purple research core ingredient is going to be the mechanical parts.
Well, they've done this in a really
This also
nice
has
way.
the
I
inputs
like this.
and the outputs. As you can see, it's using up more iron bars than it is copper bars, so that helps you with your planning. As you can see, mine is very backed up because I have not balanced mine. Just pretend mine looks really nice and even. And then we have both these going into this middle assembler
honest,
being
I like
turned into
having
research
my,
core. So right now we are outputting
my stuff backed up.
times 2,
I kind of use it as a storage.
7.5 per minute. They are going to this core composer. The core composer also has had metrics added. So as you can see, I've queued up 400, 405 are already in there extra. The power being used is 750 kilowatts, so 750 kilowatts. So that is what your normal production line is going to look like for in-game metrics and balancing. And now I'm going to take you back into the game and look at some of the other items that have had in-game metrics added, like accumulators and the power system and the thresher and the planter, etc. We have added metrics for the accumulator. In the bottom left, you will see that it is counting up that charge, which is really handy to have. Some other items that have had metrics added include the threshers. So as you can see, I've got my inputs and my outputs. You can see the power that's being used. Another really handy one for power is going to be planters. So as you can see, not only are you counting up the growths, you know exactly how much time each plant has left, but you can see the total power being used. And if the planter is not using all of its ports, which I think I see one down here. Oops. This one is not using all of its ports, so it's only using 50 kilowatts of power instead of 200. That was a big improvement that we made, so you can tell exactly how much power your planter is using.
They weren't using.
And another really important one is how we've done the in-game metrics for the water wheels and crank generators. So you will now see this metric.
Okay, so this one is really important because it's really hard at the moment to know what you should be doing, except that they told us how many we should have.
Called torque generated. System torque is going to be how you balance out the amount of water wheels that you need to your crank generators. As you can see, each water wheel is giving us, the MK1 water wheel is giving us plus 100 for the torque generated. And then I also see the system torque. So I can see that I actually have wasted torque because I have more water wheels than I need for this amount of crank generators. So if you look at the crank generators, you can see exactly how much power each one is generating, and also the amount of torque that they're using and their effect on the system torque. So as you can see, every single setup I have is different. And this is also really handy just in like balancing, especially when you start adding in the MK2s. You can see exactly what's going on in your system and find the best way to balance it. Another in-game metric added that is great is containers. Now on the bottom left will tell you their top 3 items when you hover over them. So by top 3 items, I mean the 3 things that have the biggest amount in a container.
Okay, while we're on containers, the biggest thing I want from containers is to be able to limit how many stacks can go in them. So if I only want 3 stacks used, that's all it will use. That would be the biggest change that I can think of for containers that would be absolutely game-changing. Anyway, let's carry on.
So like if I go to this one up here, you're going to see these are the top 3. I have a lot of limestone, I have the kinovine extract, and I have plant matter. Yeah. So as you can see though, this storage chest has a lot of other stuff in it. There's copper, it has iron, but those top 3 items are going to be what shows on the screen. So really quickly, we're going to talk about belt compression. This is something that we have not added into the game yet. So belt compression is when you place items on a belt, there can be like minute gaps between stuff that isn't big enough to put an item down, but it still shows as a gap on your belt and will mean that you're not getting the perfect optimization for your belt throughput. So we have a few workarounds for this that Richard has sent over to me as examples. But just know that like we're working on adding this as soon as we can. And for now it's not there, but it shouldn't affect your factories too much. So to begin with, let's look at what a belt compression looks like with no merger. As you can see, there's like some gaps between these different seeds. And the inserters aren't able to put stuff on the belt to fill those gaps because it's not like a whole integer of the gap. And then A workaround that Richard has found for this is if you either do one merger or two mergers with splitters, the splitters will place stuff on your belts evenly so you can get rid of those gaps. So that's what I have for you in this week's update. We are so pumped to get in-game metrics into the game, and the rebalanced recipes feel really good to play with. The progression feels really great. So we are very excited for you to try it out. As always, drop a comment, let us know if you like having...
Hang on, I'm just going to go back. So this compression then, by using the inserters, does it speed up certain ones or does it slow down certain ones? Because it always filled the gaps anyway. I'm a little confused as to how that's going to work.
Two mergers with splitters. The splitters will place stuff on your belts evenly.
I don't think this is a really good example.
So that's what I have for you in this week's update.
Up there.
We are so pumped to get in-game metrics into the game, and the rebalanced recipes feel really good to play with. The progression feels really great. So we are very excited for you to try it out. As always, drop a comment, let us know if you like having these videos to explain things. Please join our Discord. We have a lot of fun in there. We're going to start spinning up some really cool community stuff in the Discord with the 0.1.1 launch, and I will talk about that next week. But yeah, we'll see you there. Have a good one.
Okay, sounds like we've got good news coming next week. 30 seconds. Get rid of that. Thanks, YouTube.
Hey, everyone.
Okay, so thanks for watching this with me, guys. If you've got any comments about what's coming up, then obviously jump on over. I'll put the link to this video in my description. But it sounds like we've got a lot of good stuff coming, and it's going to be announced next week. So thanks for watching, and sign up, subscribe, and hit that bell icon for the notifications when I release new videos, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks all. Bye.